Good morning. Coming from Gifted Hands Homestead. I am out here early in the morning before the sun comes up. Well, the sun is actually up, but before it actually starts to get stronger. And I can't point out the things that I would like to point out this morning. But I want to spend a little time talking about how do you move onto a property that is not necessarily already set up for a homestead. And outside of our projects with that big red barn standing there, making it into a chicken coop or poultry house, that's the summer project. We also have to focus on the canopy and the fact that there are lots of trees that don't necessarily allow the sun to shine strongly on where the garden may be. So come along as I start to point out some of the trees that we will have to take down, some of the branches that will have to come down in order for us to move into the stage of our garden beds. All right. As you can see, we have quite a bit of pine trees, and they are large and in charge right now. Yes, the sun does come in from this direction, and it moves over the trees. And by 10, 11 o'clock, we've clocked that in this area, coming to where it's more open, we do get sun, but it's just not a lot, okay? And that is the unfortunate part where you come onto a homestead or land and it doesn't necessarily have everything in place. It's going to take some resources, it's going to take some money and some willpower to get this to where we can say the canopy is open. Now, do I want to take down every tree? Absolutely not. Do I want to open this up? Yes. As you can see, there's the sun and it's starting to come up. Now, this is what it looks like without any leaves or without the tree being in full bloom. So you can only imagine what it's going to do once the leaves and all that good stuff and the trees are in full bloom. So the other thing is coming in to clean up a lot of things that have been overgrown on the homestead. We moved onto this property in November. Things had started to die out. I'm using the app to kind of determine what is growing, but I kind of thought that it would be interesting to let things bloom for a season to determine what it is we have on this homestead, or on this land, I shall say. I did have someone come out and level a lot of the brush and bushes that were growing, and I'm happy to see that, you know, it's looking decent, but there's still a lot of work to do. I wasn't home when he was here, so we used this flagging tape to let him know, don't cut this down. And as you can see, these are hydrangeas, not necessarily in the best location, but I'm gonna do some research to see if I can dig them up and maybe move them. Okay, so what we have noticed is that the canopy is so thick that we have branches that have grown in very awkward type shapes, and we have determined that they are doing that because they're being blocked by the sun, and by any means necessary they are trying their hardest to get to the sun, which will make them branch, reach, and grow in just very awkward ways. Okay, that is what I pretty much had clear. If you go back to my Instagram page, I don't think I posted it on YouTube. You can see a lot of the before and after, and you could not walk through this area here. It was just really overgrown, and I'm more than sure very pretty, beautiful bushes and all of that good stuff, but not to serve our purpose. Now, here is the back end of our property. And we knew that this was really overgrown. The unfortunate part, you go through this gate and you can walk, and there's land that sits back here. The unfortunate part is that the previous owners, I don't know if you can see that pile there, the guy that we had that came to get rid of that brush and some trees and branches, he kind of threw stuff back here as well. But the previous owners, as they were moving, and we didn't know, just threw piles and piles of trash here. Whatever they didn't take with them, they just made piles, and the piles are too big for us to burn. So we're going to have someone come out to try to clean out as much as they can. But this tree, this bad boy right here, is covered with a lot of vines, and I don't know what that thing is that you call, but it's really out of control, and this tree needs to come down. I don't feel like moving this brick going in, but it, you know, like I said, if you don't move on to something that's already established, there's a lot of this on that tree, that big tree right there. It looks crazy, but whatever. But if you don't go into a homestead that is already set up, some of the trouble is setting it up, coming up with a blueprint that will take time, money, energy to get up and running. Now this tree I want down, and I'm looking in the camera now, it makes it look much smaller than the actual tree itself. I'm gonna put my hand up against it. As you can see, this tree is really big. So we have counted maybe 5 to 6 trees that need to come down in order to open up the canopy and allow the sun to fully come in. We have over the gazebo, the sitting area, whatever you want to call it. There are trees, but we feel like we can get those down. They're not very thick and overgrown like the trees we would need a professional to come in and take down. So that is what we are going to work on this summer. Not only rehabbing this barn, but trying to get the trees down so that we can put our vision down on this ground as we see fit, get our fruit trees in the ground, and just kind of open up the area that's directly closer to the house and the area that is off from the house beyond the fence. And just open up. We have counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 trees that need to come down. And I'm a little afraid of the price, because many people have told us one tree can cost $2,000 to $3,000 just to bring down. So in the back of my head, I know it can get done, but I'm a little apprehensive being that we have so many that need to come down if they fall in that price group, or that price quote is true. So we're going to, and the other thing is, I don't know if it's better to have trees come down when, well, these are pine or spruce trees, so the leaves did not go away this winter. But is it better for trees to come down when they're dormant and the leaves are gone? Or does it make a difference if you were to have them taken down when they're fully leafed out? So I wanted to talk about this as I've pondered my next video. And as you can see, there's the sun. But I can only imagine as the next door neighbors have their trees up, I'm sorry, not trees up, as the next door neighbors have their leaves on their trees along with ours, this is going to be a very, very shady yard. This will be our first season here, first summer actually, and I want to start cleaning the yard up. I love trees. I believe in not taking trees down, but I also believe that if they are in the way, and they may be causing some root issues or damage, whatever the case may be, you know, you're left with very little choice in the matter. So if you have any suggestions, you know, or you've had trees taken down and you want to leave some comments and information, just please, you know, do so in the comment section. I want you to like and subscribe, please. And we're going to take you on this journey as we take on two major projects, and one being this old red barn, and the other is just opening up the canopy and taking down trees. Thank you for tuning in. We will be in touch and we will talk. And until then, happy gardening.